Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Sagittarius December 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as December goes, the Sun will be in Sagittarius from the 1st until the 21st. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be strong concentration of power and energy, focus and attention on oneself, the outlook on life, making first impressions, the physical body, especially if this is actually the literal first house in one's natal chart. Also self-interest, people in the early childhood, new beginnings and appearance as well, and how you come across to others. Now, given this is Sagittarius energy, this could be done with a lot of Sagittarius exuberance, enthusiasm, expansiveness, jocularity, ebullience, a lot of joviality, a lot of veracity, the veritable truth, optimism, positivity. But keep in mind that Sagittarius can have negative qualities as well. I mean, this could be, this energy, unfortunately, could be foolhardy, reckless, very over-optimistic, and even tactless. So just be careful when you're dealing with people trying to make a first impression or early childhood, that you're trying to come across, try to come across a little bit more diplomatic and tactful if you can. I mean, being a Sagittarius anyway, I know that's very difficult to do, but I mean, just it's something to look at as far as that goes. So anyway, next thing up, the Sun will be in Capricorn as far as December goes from the 21st until the 31st. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on generating income, monetary matters, finances, one's values, self-worth, self-esteem, their possessions, items they own, resources. And given this is Capricorn energy, this could be done with a lot of responsibility, a lot of consistency, very orthodox and methodical manner. You're likely not to really go too much outside the box in terms of finding ways, as far as you're generating income. You may be apt to stay at the same place at this time and do so with a lot of consistent effort and very orthodox, conventional manner. Also, these matters, second house matters, can be done with a lot of organization, very professional, but with discipline and structure as well, and also with a lot of ambitious energy and seriousness, a lot of prudence and caution. And also these could be things with, as far as really planning, and a lot of premeditative energy as far as this goes. Now, also in some cases, this could shine the light, so to speak, perhaps on a Capricorn-like possession. It could be something, some kind of organizer, some kind of plan, like a day planner. I mean, anything connected with planning, premeditation. Also, Capricorn, I mean, it could be something that's business related that you may have been looking for some time, or some item connected with politics even that might have, that you have been looking for. Something with timekeeping even. It might be some kind of, like a watch or some kind that you might have misplaced, but now it is found. Anyway, next thing up, there will be a new moon in Sagittarius on December 7th, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this could manifest perhaps in just really being, just generally being more optimistic, expansive, really exuberant and enthusiastic, and coming across that way on a first impression, and even more upbeat on a first impression. This could also be about perhaps embarking on a new Sagittarius-like beginning, and it could be with someone from your early childhood. This could be something where maybe you do something new with this person connected with sports. It could be something which could cover a wide divergence of things, of course, whether it be football, basketball, hockey, or it could be just doing something in the outdoors. It could be jogging or running or doing anything, something that might be outdoorsy, and or something with religion, philosophy, the law, something, and you may collaborate, do something with this person from the early childhood. Could also be the beginning of perhaps doing something very positive for your physical body and how you're in your appearance. And this could be especially true if this is actually hitting your literal first house in your natal chart. It could be such as working out vigorously, doing something sports related, running or jogging outside. It could just be something where you're involved in something that could be Sagittarius related. That might really do something in terms of really your as far as your appearance and how you feel, and really about your appearance and how you look to others, and doing things for the physical body. So anyway, also too, in some cases this may manifest perhaps in the rekindling of a Sagittarius connection from your early childhood, or maybe even with someone that might have figured prominently in your outlook on life. It could be a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Sagittarius-like characteristics. So anyway, next thing up, there will be a full moon in Cancer on December 22nd, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself becoming somewhat exasperated, full, so to speak, really tired, or had enough perhaps of a rather temperamental, fickle, moody, needy, clingy, vulnerable, over emotional, perhaps sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with, or maybe somebody you're even in a shared resources situation with. Also, in some cases, this may manifest perhaps in a completion or culmination of something 8th house related that was done with a lot of perhaps even nurturing and tenacious energy. It could have been something connected with psychology or astrology, the supernatural, the occult. It could have been some long, tiring tax related matter, perhaps finally comes to a completion or culmination. Also, too, the full moon can be about revelations and unveilings. This could be perhaps the revelation or unveiling of something 8th house related, perhaps that might threaten your safety and security. It could be the elimination or some eradication of monetary support at this time. It could be maybe something that's connected with an insurance matter, something insurance may be being raised at a certain price where you're going to have difficulty affording it, whether it would be health insurance or some other kind of insurance. And also, another way this could pan out, it could be a very full, powerful emotional response to criticism and ridicule, and it could be toward somebody, again, that you might be in some sexual or intimate relationship with, or somebody that may be in a shared resources situation with. And also, too, in some cases, this could be about the completion or culmination of a Cancerian like surgery. It could be something connected with the stomach, the breast, or the chest, and it's something where you finally had enough of a health related issue that's Cancerian related, and it's time maybe where you make that decision. You've had enough of dealing with it and you need to get the surgery on it, perhaps. So anyway, and also could be a home crisis, a family crisis may come to an end as well, is another way it could manifest. Anyway, next thing up. Mercury will be in Scorpio as far as December goes, from the 1st until the 12th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself becoming involved, perhaps having a lot of incisive, probing, deep, provocative conversations in solitude and seclusion, perhaps with people prominent in your private life. You might really be thinking more about going through subterfuge and superficiality to weed out hidden adversaries, and perhaps using guile as a way to do so as well. There may be Scorpio-like writings that you do by yourself where you're in solitude and seclusion in private. They could be something connected with astrology, the occult, supernatural, mystery, horror, the macabre, something that could be Scorpio related. And you may find yourself doing really more privately, more communicative, but just in general less loquacious and talkative than usual. Remember, Mercury and Scorpio energy could be very secretive, and then you have the 12th house that is, of course, about restrictions and limitations. Hold on a moment, people. Anyway, also too, it might be something too where this may manifest as perhaps, again, as I've stated in previous videos, Mercury can also be about siblings. This could be about Scorpio siblings figuring prominently, more so than usual in one's private life, limitations, restrictions, and even secret sorrows. And this could be something too, looking at this could be something when really, you know, a lot of it could depend on the aspects, whether that's those things though are beneficial to you or to your detriment. I mean, for example, if this is making an adverse aspect to Saturn in your natal chart, this could be where siblings, Scorpio siblings, or Scorpio siblings that have Scorpio-like characteristics, embody Scorpio-like characteristics, may have a negative impact on your sorrows, maybe making you feel maybe somewhat despondent and adding insult to abject misery, so to speak. Now, also, this could be about conveying things of very secretive nature to an aunt or an uncle, even caustic, sarcastic communications with them. And really, this is also where you're mentally maybe fixated, maybe on matters that have been connected with your self-undoing. Anyway, people. Next thing up, Mercury will be in Sagittarius as far as December goes, from the 12th until the 31st. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, Sagittarius, you might find yourself more loquacious and voluble than usual, talking about many Sagittarius-related things. You might be talking a lot more about sports, philosophy, religion, the law, higher education, maybe different languages as well. Maybe you begin speaking in a different language. Remember, this is also the first house of new beginnings. And really, about philosophies as well. You might come across as more talkative than usual on a first impression, and also this can manifest perhaps in thinking more optimistically and positively about oneself. And again, as I've stated previously, Mercury can also be about siblings. So this could be about perhaps Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant siblings, or ones that simply embody Sagittarius-like characteristics may figure in prominently and strongly, perhaps more so than usual, on your outlook on life, your appearance, new beginnings, perhaps as well. And even maybe the physical body, especially if this is actually the first house in the natal chart, and they might give you some kind of advice as far as that goes. Now, also, you might be at this time contemplating thinking about Sagittarius, new Sagittarius beginnings as well. And you might find yourself talking a lot about Sagittarius-like things, perhaps with somebody that was prominent in your early childhood. So anyway, next thing up, Venus will be in Scorpio for the majority of the month, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, this may manifest perhaps in rather surreptitious clandestine affairs in some cases. It could be a clandestine affair with a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Scorpio-like characteristics. Now, could also be about expressing love with a lot of emotional intensity in passion in private, in solitude and seclusion. Now, this could also be about valuing much secrecy in private matters, perhaps more so than usual, and even valuing transformation of the lives of those less fortunate than yourself, such as the hungry, the oppressed, the impoverished, and the homeless. Now, also, it could also manifest perhaps in the enjoyment of using your power and some kind of power and very strong, indomitable spirit and will to overcome limitations and restrictions, perhaps resourcefulness even. And also, you might spending money perhaps on, it could be Scorpio related things, might result in one's self-undoing. They could be astrological, occult, supernatural type items, or even they could be something connected with maybe some kind of an investigation perhaps, or some kind of Scorpio-like game, such as some kind of Sherlock Holmes or mystery game, or like a Law and Order SVU board game. Maybe a horror game, something that could be Scorpio related, so even things connected with locksmithing and things of that, and something that could be Scorpio related. So anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Pisces, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, you might find yourself becoming somewhat angry or acrimonious, in connection with a duplicitous, deceptive, indolent, lazy family member, or someone prominent in your home life, or someone you feel close to home with, or even a less dominant parent. And it could be also fights with fourth house people, perhaps over spirituality, over one's dreams, the metaphysical, perhaps even one's ideals. Now, you might find yourself perhaps fulfilling a sexual fantasy, perhaps with someone you feel close to home with, or it could be somebody simply in some kind of fourth house profession, such as some kind of home renovation or remodeling person, somebody that might be in gardening or cultivation or in real estate. Also, too, you might be somewhat become angry at who you are at the core. Maybe you see yourself as some kind of Pisces-like characteristics at the core, such as someone that might be directionless, so to speak, confused, nebulous, person that might just simply lack direction and overly ambivalent or indecisive. Perhaps these are or even gullible. Some of those things, I mean, that's how some of these things could pan out in some cases. And also, this might be remember that Mars, and you're talking about Mars in Pisces, this energy could be somewhat passive and really lack assertiveness and confrontational energy. This could be about energy more where you're really more about loafing and fantasizing in the home, perhaps, as opposed to actually doing something and taking action. And and it's really, like I stated before, it's really can lack assertiveness. So anyway, next thing up, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, as I've talked about before, I mean, Jupiter, for the most part, could be very benign and benevolent, could be very paradoxical as well. It could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand issues. Some cases, this could expand the waistline, and there could be greater propensity to gain weight when you're talking about this energy, but it could also expand Sagittarius characteristics. It could be where you might come across perhaps as even more jocular, jovial, positive, optimistic, expansive, exuberant, enthusiastic, but yet at the same time it could expand self-righteous, overly blunt, tactless energy as well, and even reckless tendencies. So, but also this could be very fortuitous for Sagittarius new beginnings. It could be something connected with sports, philosophy, religion, higher education, doing something with translation, working as an interpreter, doing something with publishing and advertising. And also could be very advantageous for something connected with maybe a Sagittarius person you may have known in your early childhood, or somebody that simply embodies Sagittarius like characteristics. And it could be somebody that has a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that embodies those characteristics. Anyway, and also too, this could be a period of very good prosperity for you and even affluence, and especially the fact that Sagittarius Yeah, Jupiter is in its dignity, of course, in Sagittarius. Anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself going through some monetary restrictions and limitations, and they could be even restrictions and limitations connected with one's resources, one's possessions. At this time, it could be a source of very strong consternation and frustration. Hold on again a moment, people. Sorry about that. Anyway, well, could also be where, I mean, you might find yourself taking care of a debilitated or sickly person that you may generate income with, or somebody that might be prominent in your possessions and resources. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, and the joints. It could be making you feel somewhat melancholy and despondent. Also, this could be about getting structure and discipline in terms of income generated, and also really about really taking responsibility toward making money. And really it could be that older people might figure more prominent in your values at this time, in your self-esteem and self-worth. It could be to some degree that despondency or some kind of sadness or something of a depressive nature might be impacting your self-esteem and self-worth, as you could be going through limitations and restrictions as far as that goes at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Aries, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, first off, you might be experiencing some rather unpredictable, volatile, truculent behavior from a child. It could be from somebody you're in a romantic relationship with, or somebody that you might share some kind of fun, amusement, or enjoyment with. You might find yourself attracted to some kind of maybe unusual type sports at this time. It could be where also too another way that this may this could manifest is that Aries friendships, perhaps they could be Aries sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aries-like characteristics, might figure more prominently perhaps in your fun, your amusement and enjoyment, and figure strongly in your personal popularity. But that could even be somewhat erratic and sporadic at this time, since we're talking about Uranus energy. You might find yourself doing something in terms of that might be Uranus, like that is connected with your fun, amusement, and enjoyment, or a hobby. It could be something connected with computers, electronics. You might even have enjoyment in trying to do something innovative. It could be also things connected with aerospace, astronomy, maybe even model rockets, some kind of, like I talked about before, electronics. It could be a radio-controlled hobby, something that could be Uranus related. So, and also you could be very forward-moving in terms of your future, in terms of love, love and romance. If you are not connected with somebody at this point, this could be a time where you're really, the emphasis could be on a future love at this time, where you might have some focus on. Anyway, well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself at this time where maybe you might see you might be somewhat unclear or nebulous as far as who you are at the core. You might be dealing with very confounding, confusing, and chaotic situations at home. This could be this can increase the propensity for some kind of flooding or gas leak or inadvertent chemical assimilation at your home. And this could be about the dissolving or dissipation of a connection with a family member, someone you're close to home with. It could even be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. And you might find yourself too, on a positive end, doing something more inclined to do something Neptune related out of your home. This could be something that could be connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology, chemistry, poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, something that could be Neptune related. You might find yourself where there's some kind of, maybe some kind of confusion, or really your roots and your ancestry may be somewhat nebulous and unclear at this time, and you might find a connection with someone who might be starting to dissipate or dissolve, so to speak, at this particular point in time. And also that latter part of your life might be looking a little bit unclear at this time and nebulous, whether you are in it or maybe approaching it, maybe not quite in it, but at the same time it may still appear that way to you. So anyway, also, and it could be where somebody you might feel close to home with, a family member or less dominant parent at this time, might be a little bit a little bit more deceptive and duplicitous than usual. And also be very careful regarding matters pertaining to real estate, home-related matters, somebody trying to sell you something, because when you're talking about Neptune, it's often more difficult to see the details and things. It's easier to get bamboozled and deceived at this time in those matters. So anyway, last but not least, Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. In some cases, this could actually manifest in a literal death of somebody that perhaps you generate income with, or maybe somebody you valued to some degree, or played a strong role in your self-worth and self-esteem. In some cases, too, this could be about the actual obliteration or some destruction of the way you generate income. But at the same time, Pluto can be about rebirth, regeneration, and also about transformation. So you might find yourself at this time transforming the way you make your income. It could start out with the death or obliteration of one manner of doing so, then something changes and you make money doing something else. Or it could be where your possessions and resources might be obliterated, but they might be supplanted with something else. Remember, Pluto I see Pluto as all being connected with stalkers as well. So just be careful, the place that you're generating income with, there's it can increase the propensity a little bit that, you could have somebody in that area, as far as maybe, as far as a stalking situation may go. And also, to be guard against financial manipulation as well, whether it's coming from you or being directed at you at this particular point in time. So anyway, that'll pretty much do it as far as that will do it actually as far as my Sagittarius December 2018 horoscope forecast goes. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Capricorn December 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.